one of the things that often comes up here is the common concerns. When thinking about creating a core curriculum that uses videos to really bring these conversations to life, bring the topics to life, there are a number of things that I've heard over the years and experienced that I just want to take a moment to cover here, because I'm sure you'll hear some or all of them. The first one is people won't watch videos. It's some people don't want to watch videos. So think about, like, what are different ways to engage with that content? And this is one of the really great things I love about recording in something like StreamYard, is because you can pull off the audio and turn it into just a podcast. And so you can, instead of watching this video, you can listen to the person like talking about it. And so it's easier, especially if you're spending all day on video and it's fatiguing, to think about, like, all right, what are ways for people to listen to this? Or then you can pull that audio into something like rev.com and create a transcript for it, so people could just read what the offering is. Or you could pull it into rev.com. You actually should pull it into rev.com or something like that to create a caption, not an automated caption that might miss a lot of the nuance, especially names and details, but pull it in to create a captioning to put back in the videos, because maybe people could then watch the videos with the audio off, and maybe they prefer to read it, and so they could still engage with the content, reading the video, watching the slides if someone has that. So when I hear people won't watch videos, I want to unpack why. Why isn't that do you not think that they'll watch them, or that they won't watch them? Another way here is building in quizzes. So like at the end of the video, you have a really brief quiz that sort of identifies if the person made it to the end and picked up the key concept or key information that they needed to. And so that's one way. There's a couple of ways there. A second concern that I hear oftentimes is things quickly become outdated here. I find that in most organizations, even if they don't quickly become outdated, it feels like they quickly become outdated. And this is where I would level up. I mentioned this during the org chart. If your organization is someplace that there's frequent changes in the org chart, it might not even be people come and go from your organization. It might just be you change titles frequently, or teams like keep getting retooled because you're working on various innovative projects. And so once this one spun up, then your team moves over from here to there. Level up to, like, how does it work? So it's not getting into the nitty gritty, but it's like, how does that thing work? Oftentimes it's also don't include hard numbers. Nothing will become more out of date more quickly than if you say we have 30,000 members. And if your organization is growing quickly, by the time someone watches this, you might have 60,000 members. So grounding it in sort of historical. In 2023, we had 30,000 members. In 2022, we had 10,000 members. And so who knows what it's going to be when this person's watching it. But that's one way of addressing that quick change, things that feel like they're constantly quickly changing. This is also one of those other ways where actually I was getting ahead to another one. Sorry. One of another common concern that I hear, number 3, is we like to do these conversations in person. And I totally get that. I like to have conversations in person too. It really, you get that feedback from people. Are they getting it? Do they have questions in the moment? Don't think of this as a sort of one and done. Once they watch this video, the concept is done. Think about it as they're hearing this information at one time, and then they're going to get it again later. This also helps it helps with the scheduling challenges of so-and-so isn't here this week or next week when they're supposed to do this thing. So is someone else going to do it? And maybe they do it differently and miss some kind of the key information, or do we wait till they get back, which means they're not getting that for 3 weeks. And so this kind of eases that process, or lowers the pressure of the process to have everyone do it in person. I used to work at an organization where we would do, every new hire would meet with like 10 people in the first 2 weeks. And it's just a lot. Those people had a lot of things on their plate. It also, we found out that there were, even if you got good at your script, maybe you didn't do it as frequently in order to just like have it down, so you'd miss things. And then 6 months from now, you're like, wait, why are the people doing it that way? And we realized actually because we didn't cover that in the core curriculum. And then now it's turning into a performance issue. So I say yes and here. I think this is a great, like, yes and do this, the core curriculum, and do these conversations in person, and then figure out how that should be architected or arc. Number 4 is the subject matter expert doesn't like to appear on video. Totally get this one, especially for if people have been spending their life on video for the last 3 years. There are various ways to do this though. They might be okay recording a video that then can have overlays. So they won't be on video other than just to have the conversation with the person who's maybe hosting the conversation. And then in post-production, they're essentially doing a webinar. So there's slides that go over them so you can hear them, but they don't have to be on video. Or one of the ways I found you can also do this is to create a transcript. Maybe they just explain what the thing is to someone, turn it into a transcript, and then someone else delivers the information. You don't have to be the subject matter expert on video or doing this. This is also a really great way to quickly update stuff if it does become outdated, to overlay a deck and then have someone re-record what it is. So if you do say we have 60,000 members and now it's 75,000 members, and that is an important piece of your information, you can just overlay a deck or a slide that says 70,000 members, and someone can re-record it and then quickly edit that in. Number 5 I hear is, what if someone says something that they shouldn't? My first reaction is, well, just edit it out. But sort of thinking about this more deeply, you're asking the people who are sort of the subject matter experts to explain the thing that they do. And they probably would explain something in that same way or a similar way if they were doing it in person. So what is it that they're saying that they shouldn't be saying? And are they still saying that thing if they would meet the person in the hallway versus on the video? Again, this is an internal tool. So I would really want to understand, like, what are we afraid of if someone says something inaccurate? Is there a legal risk? Because that certainly could be it. And so maybe we want to make sure, okay, for that one, we're going to just do slides, and the person's going to be speaking behind, over the slides to address that. Or maybe that's not quite the way we explain it, but that is one of the ways we explain it. So again, learning the nuance of how people talk about the work that an organization does, this might be one of the ways that comes up. And lastly, on this list of common concerns, it takes a lot of time to create a core curriculum, and we just don't have it. This is one of those places where it might not seem like you have the time to do this, but it often will get picked up someplace else, unexpected, in performance issues, in legal risk issues, in organizational culture issues. And so taking the time up front to make sure everyone has a solid grounding. Yeah, it does take some time to create this. It takes probably about a month to get through all the recording that you need to do, another month to edit it, put it in a format. So this might be a 3-month proposition. But once you have that and you're building on it, it's so much easier to iterate on this tool. And then you can start to see, all right, so are the performance issues still there that we had? Are the culture issues still there? I find one of the reasons why I really love the transparency and the offering around core curriculum is finding that people just want access to the information that they feel that they need when they feel that they need it to make the best decisions that they can for the work that they're doing. And so I think that's one of the offerings that core curriculum provides everyone. what is this organization? What does it do? How do we think about the work that we do? How to actually operate in the nitty gritty? And then how do I factor into this? How do I plug into this in a way that contributes to that?